Hello and welcome to a new video of the PDQ deploy. Where in the past videos we went over the PDQ deploy download and installation and the PDQ inventory installation. Then we went over installing applications from the package library, uninstalling applications and installing our own applications, creating our own packages. In the past video, we went over checking if the application is installed or not. We see if the application is installed. We return output codes and we went over the success codes. If the application is not installed, then we go over checking the success code. Either we break if the application is installed, or if it's not installed, then we go to step 2 and installing the application. Sometimes there are applications that are critical where we have to restart the machine. And sometimes we need to see if the application, if the user restarted his laptop or PC, where it's critical for us to see if the machine did restart or not. And in this video, we're gonna cover this part. So we need to see and check for the system restart if the end user did restart his or her PC or not. For example, for an application like the antivirus, I need to see if after deploying the application, the end user really restarted the PC or not. So, in this case, we're gonna start with a new package, where in the package we have two steps. The first one is a PowerShell that we will go over in a few, and the second one is a message asking the user to restart his PC if he or she did not restart yet. So, the application that we're talking about is ESET antivirus, for example. We're getting a list of products that is installed on the destination machine, and we're checking if the application is installed or not in the first place. If it's not installed, then we say for our own info that the application is not installed on this computer. So the first thing, if the application is installed, let's go further. So the first thing I need to see is the installation date of the application. So I get the installation date and time, and this is how we get it. We check the product where the application name is the antivirus and get the install date. Okay. Then we parse the install date and time to be in this format, and then we add one day. This is a bit tricky, so for me to further explain it, I'm gonna use the example that happened like an hour and a half ago when I installed the VLC player. Why we're adding one day to the install date and time? Because in Windows, if you install the application, install an application and check the date and time, the day will be, for example, April 28th, and the time will be 12 a.m. Why we're saying so? It might happen in case where the installation date and the restart date are on the same day. For example, for me to clarify it, for the VLC that I installed it was around 11:50 p.m. But if I get it in the Windows using the command that I used, it will give me that it was installed on 12 a.m. Whereas I restarted my PC before installing the application. So it was like 11 p.m. So, and I installed the application at 11:50 p.m. But the install date and time of VLC gives me 12 a.m. So if I run this, I compare. So if the install date and time is less than the restart time, then the computer restarted after the application was installed. And in this case, it's a false positive. It's not the case because I didn't restart the PC after installing VLC. On the contrary, I installed VLC after starting the PC. Okay, so this is a false positive. So that's why we need to add one day for the installation time for this specific case where the restart date is the same as the installation date. So that's why we add one day. Okay, so this is for the installation date and time. Then we get the restart date and time. It's the same command I wrote here there. Then I check if the computer has restarted since the installation date and time of the application. So if the install date and time is less than the restart date and time, then the computer has restarted after the application was installed. So this is something that I would love to see. So the PC has restarted, then we're fine. Otherwise, if the PC didn't restart, then I need to inform the client or the end user to restart, to save his work, her work, and restart the machine. How do we do so? So first, I write that the computer has not restarted since the application was installed. Then I need to load Windows.Forms. Um, then I need to show a pop-up message where in the body I tell the end user to save the current progress and restore the machine, where we have the title, Windows Restart Manager, and the button is okay, and the icon is visible. So this is set of code, and I'm going to show a notification balloon for the end user to see, again asking same info up there, where it asks for saving the work and restarting the machine. Okay, so it will be showing it as an info. It's not as a warning. You can Google and see more details for this command here. And the exit code is 12. So if the computer has not restarted yet and didn't restart yet, then I want the end user to do a restart. Okay, so the success is 12. For me, this is a success code. So this is what I need to see. If it didn't restart, please do restart. Then I know that the end user received this message. So that's it. If the application is installed or not installed, okay. And if it is not installed, again, the success code is 12. Let's continue running the PDQ process, the package. And here again, I added another message to save the current progress and restore the machine. I'm advising the user to do so. Okay, so this is another additional step that runs after having the success code 12 where I want to have it. Okay, so if the computer has restarted, for example, then I need to do nothing, and the exit code is 11, and it's not 12. So if it's 11, let me remove the command. If it's 11, then we won't notify the end user to restart the PC or laptop. Okay, so that's it. Exit code 2 as well. If the application is not installed, then we need to break and not proceed further. So that's it. Let's try it and check if the antivirus is installed. I did restart my machine as said at 11:05 p.m. And the installation date of the antivirus is 22 March. So it should be running successfully. So let me try to restore, to check. So deploy. I'm gonna choose my machine from the Active Directory. Um, Let me search for it. So it ends with 702. Okay, and deploy. Now we'll wait for it. It's preparing, initializing, and running. So steps 1 of 2 successful. Let me see. Check restore it. Let's see the output log. Computer has restarted after ESET endpoint and device was installed. This is what I wanted to see. It's perfect. It's running. Um, it, it's running perfectly. Yes. So the restart the end user, in this case, I restarted the machine after installing the antivirus, which is the best case scenario here. Um, what if we check for VLC media player that was installed after we restarted the PC? So VLC media player. So let me save it and let me run it. So if we check now, um, it should give me that the application was installed after we restarted the laptop. So no restart occurred after the installation. Then I should receive a warning to see advising me to restart my laptop. So I'm gonna search again for my computer in the Active Directory. And here there's one thing that we need to highlight. We need to run the application um, deploy user interactive, because now we'll see messages popping up for the end user where the end user will be interacting and selecting yes for the pop-up message where he or she will be restarting the machine. So deploy user interactive, I chose my machine, and then I'm gonna check for VLC if it is installed and if a restart happened after the installation or before the installation, as explained in the code. So it's running. And it's running. Here it is. I got a pop-up notification from the Windows Restart Manager, the one that we wrote in the script. Please save all your current progress and restart your machine. And when I click on OK, here it is, another warning. Please save all. This is the balloon that I talked about. And here's please save your current progress. This is the message which is in step 2. So that's it. It's 2 out of 2. The return code here is 12, as said. 12 means that it's a success code that allow me to proceed to step 2, as explained here. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell for this part. And the last one here, we're checking if the restart happened or not, if the software is installed or not, and the next step, if it's not installed, then we will go and install it. So for example, in this case, I uninstalled WebEx, so we can check if it is there. Then we see if the end user restarted his machine or not, as explained here. And as said again, we check the install, we compare the installation time with the restart date and time, and take the decision accordingly, whether to advise the end user to restart the machine or not, or we proceed to step 2, which is installation. So here in this part of the video, here I'm highlighting on the success code how we use it. So WebEx is not installed, so all of these won't be running, and the exit codes, if it happened and it run, then it's a fail. It will stop running the package. So we go else and the application is not installed, then the success code is 2. Then we proceed to step 2, which is the installation of WebEx. Again, it's a new step. We can add the installation step here. We can browse for the WebEx MSI or exe said, and that's it. So I'm gonna try it. So try to deploy, choose target, and I'm gonna select my PC 702. So that's it. Again, we might have interaction. If the WebEx is installed, then we see if the machine restarted or not, and if it didn't restart, then we'll be advised to restart the machine. So step one is checking, and if the application is not installed, which is the case, then we should proceed to step two. So we're still checking. So running step 2 out of 2, yep, as expected, and finishing successful. So if you go now the control panel, let me see, refresh, and that's it. WebEx is installed. So it's running perfectly. So that's it. So in a nutshell, we check for the application if it's installed or not. If not, then we install it. This is something we covered previously. And going quickly over what we did, we select the application, we check if it's installed or not, and if it's installed, we compare the installation date with the restart date, and see if the restart happened after the installation or before the installation, and advise the end user accordingly to restore the PC if they didn't yet. And if they restarted, then we have a notification that the end user restarted their machines. So that's it in this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in next videos. Thank you.